Imagine a world where you could grow fresh, organic vegetables and raise fish at the same time, maybe right in your backyard or, on a small local farm. So it sounds almost futuristic, doesn't it?
It really does.
But, well, this isn't science fiction. It's actually a proven, sustainable reality we're talking about today. This deep dive is all about aquaponics. It's this really ingenious method of sustainable farming. It kind of elegantly fuses two practices you might know. Aquaculture, which is raising fish.
Right. Fish farming.
And hydroponics, which is that innovative way of growing plants without any soil, just in water.
Exactly. Merging the two.
So our mission today is to really unpack this pretty remarkable self-sustaining ecosystem. We'll explore, exactly how it works, why it's gaining so much traction as a sustainable solution, and what you need to consider if you're maybe thinking of diving in yourself.
Yeah, the practical side too.
Think of this as your shortcut, your essential guide to understanding a truly innovative approach to food production. Okay, so to really get it, let's strip aquaponics down. What exactly is it at its core?
Well, essentially, it's a closed-loop system. It's designed to mimic nature's cycles in a very controlled way.
A closed loop. Okay.
Think of it like this. The fish produce waste, right? And that waste provides the vital nutrients for the plants.
Okay, so the fish feed the plants.
Precisely. And in return, the plants act as natural biofilters. They clean and purify the water.
Which then goes back to the fish.
Exactly. It's completely interdependent, a mutually beneficial relationship.
What I find really compelling is that it doesn't rely on soil, like traditional farming, or need constant chemical fertilizer.
That's a key difference.
It just leverages these natural biological interactions between the fish and plants to create this balanced environment for both.
And what's truly remarkable there is the sheer efficiency, especially with water. If you think bigger picture, it really embodies sustainability because it drastically reduces resource use and waste. That's pretty critical for a modern food system.
Yeah, absolutely. But the real ingenuity, I think, is how it all actually works, the mechanics of it. Let's trace it step by step. It all starts in the fish tank.
Yeah.
You're raising fish, maybe tilapia, catfish, trout.
Common choices, yeah.
And as you feed them, they produce waste, specifically ammonia.
And this is where let's call it the biological magic, the nitrogen cycle really kicks in. Now, ammonia, you have to understand, is highly toxic to fish.
Okay, so you need to get rid of it.
Exactly. And that job falls to beneficial bacteria. These microscopic powerhouses, they first convert that ammonia into nitrates.
Nitrates, still harmful.
Still harmful to fish, yes.
Right.
But then, crucially, another group of bacteria converts those nitrates into nitrates.
Nitrates. And those are?
Those are the golden ticket, a non-toxic form of nitrogen that plants absolutely love. It's their primary food source.
So the bacteria are like the essential middlemen here.
Totally essential. And, what's often underestimated is how delicate these bacterial colonies can be. You have to manage water, pH, temperature, dissolved oxygen.
Right.
Because if those bacteria aren't thriving, the whole system just collapses. It won't work.
Okay, so the bacteria do their thing. We have nitrates. What happens next?
Right. So once you've got that nitrate-rich water, it's gently pumped from the fish tank into the grow beds.
The grow beds,
Yeah.
where the plants are.
Exactly. The plants are there, maybe their roots are suspended in the water or sitting in some inert media like clay pebbles.
Okay.
And they just readily absorb those nitrates and other essential micronutrients. That's what fuels their growth.
And then to complete the loop.
Well, after the plants have taken up those nutrients, they've effectively filtered the water, removed the stuff the fish don't want.
So the plants clean the water for the fish.
They do. And this cleaned, now reoxygenated water flows back to the fish tank, keeps the fish healthy and happy.
It's such an elegant cycle.
It really is.
And the water savings.
Right.
You mentioned that earlier.
Right.
It uses something like, what, 90% less water than traditional farming?
Easily. Sometimes even more, depending on the setup and climate. Because the water is just constantly recycled. Very little is lost to evaporation.
It's a true marvel of, well, natural engineering, really.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so we understand how it works. Now let's pivot to the why. Why should you, listening right now, care about aquaponics? What does it mean for us? Well, first off, the sustainability aspect. We've touched on it, but it's huge. It's an exceptionally eco-friendly system.
Definitely.
No soil degradation, no need for synthetic pesticides or fertilizers. It dramatically cuts down our reliance on finite resources.
A big environmental win.
And beyond that, think about getting fresh, local produce. Aquaponics is incredibly versatile.
Yeah, location isn't the barrier it used to be.
Exactly. You can set these systems up almost anywhere. Small backyards, urban rooftops, uh, big commercial greenhouses.
Even indoors, under lights.
Right. Which allows for year-round food production,
Right.
even in places with, terrible soil or harsh climates. Imagine getting super fresh lettuce in the middle of the city, harvested maybe just hours ago.
It shortens the supply chain dramatically. Fresher food, fewer food miles.
And then there's the economic angle, the profit potential.
Mm-hmm. It can be a viable business.
Starting an aquaponics farm can actually be quite lucrative. You're not just growing, say, high-value veggies like leafy greens, herbs, tomatoes.
Things that grow well in these systems.
But you also have a second crop, the fish themselves.
Right. Dual income streams.
And with demand soaring for fresh, organic quality produce and also sustainably raised fish, these businesses are seeing some real growth.
Yeah, the market's definitely there. Some commercial farms are seeing incredibly fast crop cycles for things like lettuce, and they can often get premium prices because it's pesticide-free and super fresh.
It really hits a sweet spot in the market.
And expanding on that, if we look at the wider implications, aquaponics starts to address some really pressing global food challenges.
Like what?
Well, resource scarcity, water, land, the growing demand for healthier, locally sourced food, the need to cut down on transportation, the whole food miles issue. It's a tangible step towards greater food security, especially in vulnerable areas.
So it's not just a cool farming technique. It's potentially part of a bigger solution.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so if you're listening and thinking, all right, I'm interested, maybe considering taking the plunge, what are the ways in? And what are the potential pitfalls?
Good question.
The good news is it's pretty accessible if you just want to try it as a hobby or for a small-scale setup.
Yeah, you don't need a massive investment to start.
There are tons of DIY kits online now. You can grow herbs on your kitchen counter, small veggies on a balcony, even just ornamental fish and plants. It can be a really fascinating personal project.
A great way to learn the basics.
But for those with maybe more entrepreneurial ambitions, scaling up.
Scaling up to commercial systems, yes, that can be quite profitable. But the focus shifts. You need to really target high-demand vegetables and fish species that work well together and cater to a specific market. It becomes about building a genuinely sustainable business model, not just a system.
Right, requires more planning. And like any kind of farming, knowledge is key.
Absolutely crucial. You can't just wing it. You need to understand the basics of fish health aquaculture. You need to know about plant needs hydroponics.
And crucially, how to keep that whole ecosystem in balance. The water chemistry, the bacteria.
That's the heart of it. But thankfully, like you said, there's a wealth of information out there. Online resources, courses, active communities.
So the knowledge is accessible if you seek it out.
Definitely. But that leads us to the hurdles, the challenges, because, it's not all just plug and play.
Okay, let's hear them.
Yeah.
What should people be mindful of?
Well, first, initial setup costs, especially if you're aiming for a larger commercial system, the tanks, pumps, grow beds, plumbing. It can be a significant investment up front.
Right, capital needed.
Then there's the need for consistent monitoring and care. This isn't like a pot plant you water once a week. It's a living, dynamic system.
Needs daily attention.
Often, yes. Checking water parameters, fish health, plant growth, looking for pests or diseases. Water quality is paramount.
Because if one part goes wrong,
it can cascade really quickly. A problem with the fish can affect the water, which hurts the bacteria, which then starves the plants, or vice versa. It's all interconnected.
Systemic vulnerability, basically.
Exactly. And related to the cost, scaling up significantly might require quite a bit of infrastructure investment, maybe even specialized buildings or greenhouses.
So challenges exist, but not insurmountable with the right planning and knowledge.
Precisely. You just need to go in with your eyes open.
Okay, so let's recap then. Aquaponics, it really stands out as this brilliant example of sustainable farming. It creates this truly symbiotic relationship between fish and plants.
A win-win ecosystem.
Yeah. It's an innovative solution, letting us grow food efficiently, conserve precious resources like water, and actively contribute to, well, a greener, more secure food future.
Well put.
So whether your interest is maybe just growing some fresh food for your own table, or perhaps building a thriving, eco-conscious business, aquaponics seems to offer these immense opportunities for innovation, for sustainability, and yes, for profit too. For anyone out there looking to maybe make a meaningful impact, maybe make a living in an eco-conscious way, this deep dive really suggests that aquaponics isn't just some niche hobby. it might just be a powerful blueprint for the future of how we produce food. Something definitely worth exploring further.